To those of you that have joined, really appreciate your time. My name's Clive. I'm the Organisational Development Manager down at Somerset County Council and also part of the PPMA board. So I was going to say hosting today, not really, but just doing this mini intro today before handing over to other colleagues. Before doing so, I'll just do a couple of housekeeping bits. I think I recognise names actually from previous webinars, so you probably know this stuff already, but just as a reminder, please do remain on mute unless you're asking a question. I can see you all are already on mute, so top marks for you so far. The session is being recorded, but only the speakers will be seen. And if you've got any questions kind of throughout and you don't want to kind of interrupt and come off of mute, please do use the chat box, and we'll pick those up at a pertinent point, if not just at the end of the session. So without further ado, I am going to hand over initially to Gilly. We're joined by Gilly, Jason and Sophie today. I'll let themselves kind of introduce them to you. So without further ado, Gilly, can I hand over to you first, please?
Thanks, Clive. Just to introduce myself then, I'm Gillian Davis. I'm the HR Resourcing Manager at Milton Keynes City Council, and we have been trying to rejuvenate our recruitment experience, and we've been doing that in tandem with our fabulous partners at Tribepad. So Jason, shall I hand over to you to introduce yourself?
Great stuff. Thanks for that, Gilly. Good afternoon all. I'm Jason Collis. I head up the sales organisation here at Tribepad. During my 25 plus years career within recruitment technology, I've been lucky to work with most UK or certainly English local authorities, supporting them very much in their pursuit for recruitment excellence, helping them either adopt recruitment for the very recruitment technology for the very first time, or migrate to a more innovative new technology, supporting them to deliver against both their people as well as their corporate council plans. Massive thanks to Gilly again for her support this afternoon. Last time we teamed up was back in May, where she basically took us through the journey of selecting and implementing and some of those initial outcomes really of implementing the Tribepad recruitment platform. In terms of the agenda for today, there's going to be a very sort of brief 5 minutes from myself, just in and around Tribepad and what we've been up to in and around the local government space over the course of the last 6 months. And I'm going to hand back over to Gilly, who's going to run the majority of the session, bringing to life some of the really positive outcomes that they've seen over at Milton Keynes. So, who are Tribepad? A bit of a recap for those on the call. We're an independent technology business based out of the steel city of Sheffield, whose purpose is really around providing power, and that power comes in the form of the latest, most innovative, most inclusive recruitment technology, helping organisations such as yourselves on the call to attract, select and onboard successfully the talent that's going to help improve and transform, hopefully, the communities that you guys all so proudly serve. When it comes to our customers, as you can see from the top line of the logos on the screen, they vary hugely, and they're from across all industry sectors, from Tesco, the UK's largest retailer, to high street success stories such as Greggs, who have recently gone live with Tribepad, and they've done so across their 2,000 plus retail estate. And within the first 5 days of going live, have received over 5,000 applications to some 400 plus roles across the UK, which is a massive achievement. Despite being a Man United fan, I'm really pleased to say that we've also got Liverpool Football Club as a customer. No, I am proud to say that we've got Liverpool as a customer. Many of whom players will be showcasing their skills at Qatar over the course of the next few weeks. And then finally, Well Pharmacy. Some of you on the call may not have come across them. They're the UK's third largest pharmacy chain, some 760 plus stores, 6,000 colleagues. And what I wanted to share really was some hot news off the press from those guys this week. Some stats I wanted to share really. The first one being application dropout rates have basically reduced by 41% as a result of implementing Tribepad. Application dropouts being those candidates that started an application but didn't go on to complete it. So, you know, a significant improvement there, and that has also impacted as well on overall application volumes coming through the platform. Within the first 3 months, those have skyrocketed, and within the first 3 months, they've actually achieved the same volume of applications as they did in an entire year via their previous platform, which is a massive improvement. Talking about massive improvements, when it comes to process efficiency, they've seen a 460% improvement in and around some key areas of their recruitment process. One of them being is the sending of offers and contracts. So 460% improvement there. And then they've also seen a 300% improvement in and around the processing of new starters onto their HR platform. So that's the taking of those candidates that are accepted, their offer, they've agreed their contract, and then they're being passed over into their HRIS and payroll platform ready for processing. So some significant improvements being achieved. Crucially, as you can see from lines 2 and 3 there, local government continues to be a sector that we are razor-like focused upon, where customers are also experiencing similar measurable productivity, efficiency, and employer value proposition gains. For example, with Coventry City Council, they've seen an increase in their hiring from applications coming from Black, ethnic minority communities from 18 to 40% as a result of implementing some of Tripad's ED&I features. Richmond and Wandsworth, they actually came runner-up to the mighty Vodafone during a recent recruitment industry awards for providing the best candidate experience within the market, which, when you think about it, is kind of like no mean feat when you take into consideration the budgets that the likes of a Vodafone would have for kind of like similar HR initiatives. More positive news to share when it comes to our local government community as it continues to scale. Northumberland County Council being our latest customer to join what we would call our tribe, and whose project kicks off within the next couple of weeks. Then ours and our customers' project teams, they've also been really busy over the course of the last few months, and we've seen some recent go lives. Here on the screen here, you can see the new job search page for West Northants. Basically, this is part of a collaborative project that it's effectively a stage rollout with West Northants going first, and they're going to be closely followed by North Northants and Cambridgeshire County Council following shortly afterwards. We've also seen Staffordshire County Council go live, who have come to Tribepad having migrated from their HRIS payroll platform's recruitment module, and lots of hard work from those guys to get them live. The reason why we've got, I guess, such a wide variety of customers is primarily down to the flexibility of the platform. That's the platform that Gillian's going to go on to talk about. That platform is Tribepad Pro, which is our complete talent acquisition platform that includes applicant tracking, it includes onboarding, it includes talent pooling, reporting, and an ever-growing ecosystem of best-in-class partner integrations. And all of the modules that you basically see on the screen here, like they seamlessly integrate together, enabling our customers to run the most inclusive, the most cost-effective, the most process-efficient end-to-end recruitment and onboarding journeys. So that's enough about Tribepad. Hopefully that gives you a bit of a flavour for what we've been up to over the course of the last 6 months. I'm now going to hand over to Gilly, who's going to take you through some of the outcomes that that Milton Keynes have seen as a result of implementing Tribepad. Gilly, over to you.
Thanks, Jason. So just as Jason was recapping there, obviously we came and we were talking to you all in May about kind of the big bang launch that we went through, but I just thought it would probably be quite useful to kind of recap our journey. So we went out to market for a new recruitment support provider, effectively, of a new ATS system, because we had an in-house system before. And Jason, if you could put up the next slide for me.
Of course.
I'm quite embarrassed to really share this with you guys, because this is effectively what we were doing. If you look at this, this is genuinely what our recruitment pages looked like. This is the experience that people were having with Milton Keynes Council. It's just completely unacceptable. The biggest thing that we thought it was appropriate to tell anybody was that the internet provider wasn't supported. So Jason, let's get it off the screen. Let's take that away. Because we've managed to get rid of that. And this is some of the things that we've managed to achieve with Tribepad. I mean, the journey, and this is what we really wanted to share, that the journey really is about kind of incremental change, because let's face it, we were somewhere the bar was very, very low, so things could only get better, couldn't they? And we really do feel that we have delivered a step change in our recruitment process and our focus, that now we are able to provide a really great candidate experience. Our hiring managers are so much happier, and we'll see some feedback to that effect coming later on. But what we did was, obviously, we had to move from what was terrible to something that was considerably better, and we managed to do that with our initial launch. We were really proud of that. But what I feel even more proud of is effectively that we have incrementally continued that journey of improvement effectively. So what we've done is we've got everything to a place that we're happy with, and then what we keep doing is we keep moving the microscope effectively and looking at each stage. What can we do better here? How can we attack this differently? What challenges are we facing still, and what could be better? So effectively what we've done is we've got ourselves to a better position, and now we're going to tackle all these things one at a time effectively. So Jason, if you could put the next slide on for me, please. This is definitely our recipe for success here in Milton Keynes. We are very keen to get something delivered. I do think in local government sometimes we spend so long trying to get things perfect that effectively we don't get things done. So it was critical that we move to a better place. You could see from that very first, the second slide that went up, we were in a very difficult position, and we needed to make that step change quickly. And because of our partners at Tribepad, we were able to do that. The thing that we love about the ATS is that it's over to you. You build it however you want. So effectively, rather than now where we want to tweak things, it's all in our own gift to do that. So what we've done is so we've delivered something. Now we've taken some time to collaborate with our partners. Now this has been where we've got our real value. So you're going to see some of the things over the next few slides about where we've worked with our EDI champions, where we've worked with some external integration partners to evolve our product and then implement new improvements, and then just keep repeating that journey. In the middle, that's me and my team dancing off into the sunset, because genuinely things have got so much better. And I think that that's helped with our energy and enthusiasm for recruitment again. We have all really, really fallen in love with this, because we are very much in control of it. Whereas before, anything that we wanted to change would take months. We would have to go back to developers. It was all so painful and so difficult that it began to feel that we couldn't make changes. But this has effectively just completely empowered us to go back and to relook at everything that we wanted to do. So Jason, if you could put the next one up for me, please. This is one of our key wins. This is in the EDI space. I know that we are all very keen to make positive inroads for inclusion, so that we are offering the most inclusive recruitment experience that we can. And we've always had some challenges, and I'm sure that any of you working with any of the large players in terms of HR systems that are out there, there's a lot of inflexibility around what we can hold in terms of diversity data. And we're very much constrained to boxes, aren't we, where we must get certain outcomes that have to feed our HR systems, but that can come across as very, very awkward, very objectionary in this space. And so we went back to our EDI champions. We have a network of them in Milton Keynes City Council, and it really is a positive space to try and make sure that we're responding to our employee voice effectively and doing the things that we want to. And we had a discussion there around that, particularly in the gender identity space, there were some changes that were required. We have always struggled in the past, because you have to, as particularly in local authorities, you have to be able to record somebody's sex, because you need that for HMRC. So that's a 1-0 situation. Somebody can only be male or female. But we very much feel that the gender identity space is quite different to that. And what we wanted to be able to say is we wanted to be able to acknowledge that actually, whilst the whole language around sex and gender is still not nailed down, we wanted to be able to say that what was very critical to us is that I identify as. and then anybody can say whatever they want. They're not nailed down to a reason. There are currently, I think, 72 different recognised versions of gender, and that's too much for any system to cope with. You know, you can imagine a list that would look like that. But just by very simply being able to say, I identify as, and leaving that as a blank, how much more powerful that is than offering the option of other. Nobody wants to tick other. We're not other. We are whatever we want to be. And we're now able to offer that within our ATS. And that was something that we were able to deliver, change ourselves, and actually do that. And that was just something that was so powerful in this space that it really was a big step change for us. So I just wanted to be able to share with you that that flexibility has made such a difference to us, and really wonderful to be able to respond to our employee voice in that way. The other thing that we've got from our ATS is really being able to understand inclusion at every stage. We can see, you know, how people from a certain community may respond to adverts and how that translates to applications, how that translates to dropout of applications, how that translates through to appointments. And we've never been able to have that granularity before. So that's something that the Insights platform is just amazing for. So we have been very, very lucky, and we really are very proud of what we've managed to achieve in the EDI space. So, you know, really, really good stories there, hopefully. Jason, if you could put the next slide up for me, please. I don't know how many of you know Milton Keynes, but we are very, very spoilt in our modern new city. And you may actually have heard that we actually got city status. We always call ourselves a city. We feel that we're very progressive, and we've been very positive about that for a number of years. But actually, as the Queen's Platinum Jubilee celebrations, we were actually conferred city status. That is a massive thing for any resident of Milton Keynes, and it's something that we are really proud of. What was so awesome was that we were able, it was from the moment we got city status awarded, not one single contract went out of our ATS that wasn't rebranded immediately to Milton Keynes City Council. And that, honestly, like I've been working in HR and ATS systems for a long time, and that in our previous world would have taken, we'd probably be still sitting here now offering out, oh yeah, Milton Keynes Council, but we are a city now. It would have been awful. There's none of that. There is just this real pride, and it is such a big thing for the council that was wonderful. You know, that rebrand was just achieved quickly and seamlessly and just done, and we were able to share that positive journey and build that into our recruitment. That was something that was really positive for us. Sorry, Jason, could we have a look at the next one, please? This is about our hiring manager engagement. I mean, honestly, the change in space. I know that for all of us who are HR professionals, there is always an element of HR are doing to us, HR are awful. You know, there is always a little bit of internal struggle, isn't there? But the feedback that has come back, I mean, if we read that one just from Hazel, she's our head of IT. The new recruitment system is so slick and professional, it's made recruiting a joy and not the nightmare I've previously experienced. As a recruiting manager, I can say, well done. It really is so easy to navigate and saves me so much time. And that saving time is ultimately the deliverable, isn't it, for our managers? You know, that's what we all want. We want less time doing admin, less time doing painful tasks, and more time doing our jobs and being released into the space. Yeah, Hazel, she's a very canny Scotswoman. She wouldn't mind me saying she would not have said that cheaply. Do you know what I mean? So that is a very, very big accolade that I'm really proud of. And I think that is working with our managers to continuously evolve what we do. I just wanted to share with you a little story here about, I mean, I'm sure you've all experienced the change in how we're doing right to work checks. That obviously with the easement that we were given under COVID, where you could do those things over Teams, etc., and you didn't have to do them face to face. That easement changed, and it changed quite quickly, that it was suddenly the 1st of October, that's it, you're not going to be allowed to do that anymore. And that change, we had all known it was coming, but we weren't quite ready for it because we're all in a digital age now, aren't we, where we're so used to doing things in this format that it suddenly felt like that was going to be quite a step change again for our managers. But because of how the ATS works, all we did was just built a video into the process. Pops up, they can't ignore it, that says, right, you're going to have to do this, or your candidates are going to have to come back in, they're not going to want to. And we've seen a transformation that we were getting 20% of right to work checks supplied at the interview stage back to us via the management team, and now that's up at 85%. And that is all about that change of that video, because believe me, they ignore us an awful lot. It was my head popping up, unfortunately, saying, no, you must send these back or you're going to really frustrate your candidates. And that was the change that was delivered through the system. And that was just an amazing thing that was delivered really, really quickly. I've listed another few things there. Obviously, safer recruitment. We are a massively regulated environment, as you can probably imagine. We are constantly able to update our processes. So as things change, we've built in like Lado checks that are possible. We've built in a whole system of flow so that the information can get to the pertinent people at the right time. We have managed to put in place, we have safeguarded against appointing a couple of people who potentially may have snuck through previous systems. And that's something that the system has delivered, and that has been amazing. Pay awards, the mention there, everybody in the local government space, goodness, we know how critical it was to get pay award processed through the system and in for November pay. And there wasn't a lot of lead time in that. So a lot of focus went there, but actually the seamless part of it was that straight away every single advert updated, every single offer through the system. We were able to contact all the people that have been offered old salaries to say, great news, there's going to be more money coming for that job that you were coming to Milton Keynes to do. And that was all just delivered in a totally seamless way that was just amazing, and something that I don't think I could have conceived that was even going to be possible. Do you know what I mean? For my team, that was wonderful and it was really great. We're launching some open day events that are going to be through the system. So we have a lot of carers in our world, and carers in particular. I do think sometimes with the whole recruitment journey all being online, we almost are testing people for skills that they won't ever have to demonstrate in the workplace. We need to know that they can care effectively, not that they can work a computer. So we're doing some open day events where actually they'll just come in and we'll interview them on the day, and then we will support them through the journey to just get them registered onto the system so that we can process them. So we're just approaching some things in some different ways, and that has been, it's been really nice to offer that flexibility to our hiring managers and work with them, listen to their feedback, what do they need, and actually support that. So we're really positive about that. That's been another great initiative for us. Jason, next slide, please. I'm so sorry, I'm beginning to talk really fast because I'm conscious we're running out of time and I really want to share a couple more things with you.
Go for it.
This is a really critical bit. These are about our integration partners. I mean, what you've got on the screen there, these are our little robots that run around Milton Keynes, you know, delivering our lives for us, and they really are fabulous. But what they symbolise is really the success that technology has brought to us here in Milton Keynes. We've integrated through Tribepad to another company called Verifile, who do our DBS checks, and they are also an IDSP provider, so that they can do your right to work checks for you. And that integration has saved us all of the improvements we've made in the recruitment have saved a 0.5 FTE saving in our recruitment processing team. I mean, that's a massive saving when we're all looking for cuts anywhere, aren't we? I imagine that you're all looking at the person, there's not a lot in there, and it's wherever can we make efficiencies and savings. 0.5 of a head. You know, that's an impressive saving, and that has been delivered really by technology into the recruitment space. We have delivered an improved candidate experience, an improved management experience, and we've managed to cut resource. I mean, that's an amazing outcome for anybody. Those integrations really are critical because they take all the pain out of things that have tortured us for a long time, really. So that's some great stuff that I just wanted to share there. Jason, sorry, can we have the next slide? And this one is the last one, and this is really where the success of working with Tribepad has come, is that we have a very iterative journey, don't we, Jason? You know, where Jason tells us about what's coming up and I'm going, oh, that sounds wonderful. Do you know what? I really think that this could work if we could just do this. And we've done some great work with the product development team on, so basically there's some things in onboarding, because we do mass onboarding and we manage it centrally. We just wanted some ways to really be able to check kind of the status of people at a glance, really. And so this is like a checklist that's being developed so that people can't move through to being hired without the checklist not being delivered effectively. So it's just a real minor tweak to what is already a fabulous product, but something that will make a massive difference to all clients, and so then that will be rolled out across the board. So I think that that's a massive win from our work together. And what we're hoping to do is we're hoping to bring together a local government user group. This is something that both Jason and I are really passionate about, that we think that actually there is so much in the public sector space, and particularly in local government, that it's unique to us. Let's face it, we're pretty special, aren't we? And how much nicer to harness that together and to actually be able to work together so that we can all bring together. These are all the things that would help us. There's massive things where we're very peculiar, aren't we? So how nice to speak with one voice and actually kind of sound out some of those challenges and actually get some of that stuff nailed down. So we're really positive about that. We're hoping to get the first meeting together early in the new year. So, you know, more from us on that space. Should we go to key reflections, Jason, because I'm conscious of running out of time?
There we go.
So the key reflections for us, this is our Cathedral of Trees from the wonderful Milton of Keynes, which kind of made me think about some reflective moments. And I think definitely for this, it's being willing to try different approaches. We've had Tribepad live for nearly a year, and we've probably invented it 3 times already. We just love the flexibility and being able to continuously improve and evolve, and that just trying things differently. It's been wonderful. Incrementally, all these tiny changes together represent a collective, significantly better experience, and that's what I would just really encourage others to be able to see, that it doesn't have to all be done day one, but let's keep going, let's keep getting it done. The last point is just really about being brilliant partners. You know, Tribepad have been amazing with us, and we have a much better recruitment space because of them. You know, it's their skills, their product, and that has got us over the line with this. But I hope that we have been a brilliant partner with you, Jason, and I'm sure that Jason
absolutely
will say this, only because I'll pay him afterwards, but do you know what I mean? we work collectively very well together, and I think that that is perhaps the core of the success here, and perhaps just a real problem to all of us, that in being better partners we actually get a bit better service in return, and we all become better. So I thought that was probably a key reflection, really. So okay, that's me finished. Anybody any questions?
Superb. Thank you, Gillian, Jason, for that. To try and cram that in half an hour, you've done a superb job.
Well done, Gillian.
And with maybe a couple more hours, to be totally honest, on that. I've got a couple of questions, but those, I think a couple of people might have joined after the incredibly brief intro. In that intro, saying keep yourselves on mute. I think this is the time to come off of mute. If anybody's got any questions, please do come off of mute. I'll pose one now, just in case people are typing in the chat, and we'll hopefully pick them up now. Jason, at fairly near the start of that, you'd mentioned, I think it was with Coventry, that there were some ED&I features that that had made a big impact. Are you able just to share a couple of those? What were those features, I guess, that made such an impact on applicants from that kind of background coming forward?
Yeah, absolutely, Gary. So the main one being the anonymous application feature, which you're able. Yeah, there is flexibility in there to enable it even on a job by job basis, but it has been enabled across the board at Coventry. So basically, when it comes to the point where the hiring manager is shortlisting, the applications received are anonymized, and obviously, from a preventative bias perspective, it means that process, is fairer and less bias restricted than it has been previously. We think that's one of the key features, really, that's made a big difference for Coventry. Also, when it comes to detective features, we've got a whole suite of ED&I reporting, which no doubt Gillian will be very familiar with within our insights reporting suite, which helps to, again, shine a light on all stages of the process, when it comes to applications received, from the different areas of the community where applications are coming from. Going.
That's great, thank you. I'm not seeing any of the questions come in, so I'm going to pose my next one, if that's okay, and then I promise to be quiet for a minute. Gillian made reference at the end, I think, to the development team, and I'd already scribbled down slightly earlier. Are you able to? We obviously saw there's some great stuff that Tribepad can kind of support with an offer. What's on the roadmap? What are the juicy things coming up that might even get the juices really flowing?
So shall I pick that one up, Gillian?
Yeah, you please feel free, because I'm very excited about the roadmap too. So I do know some of the things, but I'm sure you'll sell them better.
Yeah, absolutely. We've got our next release coming up on the 29th, so we're not far away, which has some new integration elements into it. So the likes of the Office 365 integration for ease of interview scheduling. Again, many of our customers, and many of our prospects as well, they come to us, for process efficiency. Process efficiency gains in scheduling interviews is one of those areas that is notoriously a bit of a bottleneck. So, having that integration piece in place will make a big difference. So there are integrations. The onboarding element is something that we're really focused on. So, part of that is the checklist that we've been working very closely with Gillian and her team on. So it's basically providing more automation capability and better visibility throughout the onboarding journey. We're also looking to make major enhancements to basically the end-to-end process when it comes to KPIs for individual stages within that process. So, notifications and reminders can be triggered depending on how long, for example, a candidate sits in a particular step within the process, to ensure that process keeps moving and everyone is as informed as possible, to take away any manual and human intervention required. There's also a bunch of work that we're doing in and around candidate relationship management. In particular around campaigns and nurturing campaigns, which are going to be particularly useful, for example, when it comes to Gilly's open day events and the follow-ups that come as a result of that. So yeah, I mean, masses of development. And one of the things that we're really focused on, as Gilly has alluded to, is the fact that our customers are inputting into those into those roadmaps. I think in the most recent releases, 30 to 40% of all of the functionality that has been released has come as a result of customer input and feedback.
I think that's a really neat point, Jason. A really nice one to potentially finish on. I won't say finish on, just in case there are any final questions. We're just over the half-hour mark. So if you've got a question, please come off of mute. Come off of mute now and shout. If not, I'll take this opportunity to say thank you to Jason and Gilly. Really interesting, and yeah, I'll be getting in touch. But put it that way. Keep an eye out, those of you on the call. If you think, oh, so and so needs to know about this, the recording will be circulated by the PPMA. Please do forward on to your contacts and colleagues, because I think there's so much in there that I think people would gain from. So I'm going to wrap up now. I'll just check in with Gilly and Jason. Was there anything final from you folks before I do the wrap up?
Nothing from me. Thank you so much for having us this morning.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks ever so much, Clive. Thank you.
Superb. Thank you again, Gillian, Jason, and thank you all for joining. The final thing I think I've got to mention is the next PPMA webinar. If you've managed to sign up for this one, hopefully you're getting all the right emails coming through to you. So keep an eye out for the next one. There's one this time next week. I'll whisper it because it might be a competitor. I don't know, but engaging with your candidates with Jobs Go Public, Friday the 25th, also at midday. So keep an eye out for that. As well. Thank you everybody for your time, and hopefully I'll see you again soon. Thanks,
Great
everyone.
Stuff. Have a great
Cheers.
weekend all. Thanks, Gilly. Take care.
Bye.
Bye-bye.